Push up is the same idea, okay? But now you're going to really push off your rear foot. Okay, see how my rear foot is going to push off. You see that? And even some ways that it's been explained, like in the MC boxing energy is. I'm not just sitting into it. It is not just, and the way they explain it is the motion's already there. I've already got tension in my body to go forward, okay? And as soon as they talk about dropping or like, you know, lifting up my knee. If I lift up my knee, my rear foot's going to push me forward. And they call it like a drag step, I think. Okay, so you see that? So it's, give yourself a lot of forward motion with your rear leg. Really kind of push off of it. Okay? And just the front leg is just like a brake. It's just sitting there. Okay? And then just lift your front knee. And you should go forward.
You lie on your heel?
Well, this is just for the feeling of it. Okay, so that part I'm not really concerned if you're standing flat-footed or not. Okay, so now you're really, you know, loaded up. Just, you know, this is your, okay. I want you to feel that motion. See, if you, so don't think of it like this, okay? I'm just standing here normally. Now lift up my knee and then push off. You see the difference? Here, I'm cocked, I'm ready to go, it's ready to go. And as soon as I lift up my knee, it's already there. Okay. So let's try that. So already be pushing off now. Feel your rear foot. Okay, you're pushing off the ball of your foot. Before you move. Yes, see, feel it. Feel it. That's what I want you to feel right now. Okay? Okay. That sort of motion, I want you to feel that pushing motion. So that would be the basis of your push step, okay? Now, to continue on now don't think so much of lifting up your knee. You're just going to step forward now, okay? Yeah. Stepping forward now, okay? Okay, so a little more refined now. Yeah, stepping forward.
Yeah, I got this.
This is good.
Oh, I got it better. Got it better.
But I like that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I like, for speed, you want a popping motion.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want
The soft one. No, I don't like soft.
So, yeah, raspberry. But anyway, suffice to say, all his students did it the same way. So they followed their teacher very well.
Dano Santo.
Nope, not down the time. Remember, none of his students could be at the time.
Okay.
I won't say. Anyway, you don't want to really load it like, you know, I just see this sort of, and then just really shoot through it. Okay. More just for finesse. This punch, again, only has certain limits. Okay. It can only be as powerful as just within the punch itself. Okay. Naturally, it can't be as powerful as a rear hand. So don't think of, you know, turning your front hand into a rear hand. There's just no way you can get it the same way. That you cannot get out of your front foot from it being from your front of your body. You can get it with your rear hand. Okay. So don't think about getting that same type of torque. You got a different type of motion here. Okay. So when you're doing it, just okay. So step it close. Okay. And I see how I'm with the. You see how I'm rotating, right? I mean, no. See, my body's turned now, right? Okay. Okay. So I have just this amount of distance to cover here. Okay. So now all it is the coordination of the hips and the hands. Okay, that's all I want right now. Okay, so let's just work on that first. I'm going to break this down. Not heated today, but made a conjecture. But that is the line that when you throw your punch. Okay, they have said the reason why I think. Okay, this here, when they show the angle coming this way, you see that slight angle here? Okay, right. That's a straight punch. His hand got to go in a straight line. Okay, straight line. Boom. Okay. So right now we're just working for a pure punch, straight punch. Okay, we're not heavy. Right now I want you to discipline yourself that you can throw a straight punch. Okay, also because the purity in the punch, going straight, you will get a lot of power out of it. You can get a lot of power out of hooking too, but it's a little different type of power. Okay, you're dealing a little bit more
Shortest distance between 2 points.
For the straight line.
For the straight line.
Okay,
Straight
but
line.
the other one you're dealing with yeah, that's what it is. Okay, you're dealing with this sort of motion here. Okay, but I don't want you to think about that right now. Okay, because we will deal with that in the true hook punch. Okay, right now we're working true straight punch. Okay, so money's going to come straight in. Now a lot of times you'll see the recoveries going this way, right? And the reason, but that's do it, but they don't emphasize it as a recovery that way. I have seen and heard part of the natural motion of the punch. That is the case. That is the case. Now turn back your hip.
Yep, then make the circle.
You have to make the circle.
Mm-hmm.
If I turn back my hip,
And then come back straight back. The punch come back straight. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's faster recovery.
I recovered with
Yep.
my hip too. My hip is cocked ready to go.
Jerry Petit do those, do that one.
Yeah. Now, I mean, he may have some other reasons that I don't know about that. My hip's back. I have to turn backwards.
Yeah, it's automatically
Yeah.
around
Okay.
recovery.
That's another intricacy. We won't get into that yet. Gain distance, there's a lot of different ways there.
Would you cross the legs?
No, I wouldn't. I still wouldn't.
You do forward shuffle.
Yeah, I'm a, go here, or you do your quick step,
Right.
which I haven't covered yet. But
Right.
and that was good. I'm glad you reminded me. That was another habit I wanted to mention about. But anyway, yes, if I wanted to gain distance, okay, yeah, definitely, quick step will help.
Right.
Okay, my quick step is not going to be the one that's going to gain the distance. That's probably a unconscious manner. Okay, we'll cover that. Okay, but what you want to do is, this step is always going to be short because you're using that for the speed, okay, to gain the momentum.
Right. Forward momentum.
So what is going to be your distance? Which one is going to cover your distance? Okay, here. So I'm coming in, and then see how much rear.
You're using the shuffle, right?
And I'm using the shuffle, but my rear foot is going beyond what my front foot is going. That will gain me distance. See?
So that would be almost like a pendulum move there.
No, still not pendulum movement.
You're lifting it up.
Pendulum will be what? Yes.
Yeah.
The pendulum is when I'm moving back and then moving forward.
Right.
Or moving forward and moving back. But mostly it's moving back and moving forward.
Right.
So that would be the pendulum. Probably tomorrow's work.
Okay.
Okay, so, and there is one other tactic
Another
to
tactic.
gaining distance in a kick. Okay. Now, what I had noticed is a lot of you were doing the quick step beforehand. I want you to try to eliminate that, okay? Because every time you throw a kick, it's going to be like this, okay?
Like telegraphing?
Yeah, they're going to time that. Just like a Thai person, a Thai fighter.
Yeah.
If he throws his kick the same every time, no matter how fast it is, eventually you'll be able to time it, okay? Hopefully you'll be able to time it before it destroys your knee or destroys your leg.
Shatters your leg.
Yeah, but you got to work on their timing. And I'll tell you, a lot of their kicks have the same timing. It's just that they are moving quick, but you have a structural advantage against the Thai fighter. What is it?
Footwork.
Most of the time he's throwing his kick from where?
From the rear leg.
From the rear. Okay, his right leg, he's throwing the rear. Throwing the left leg, throwing the rear. He hardly ever throws from his front leg. So structurally, you have more of a you got half the distance of time to play with. Okay, so you have more time to counter his rear foot than you do his front foot.
Most of the kicks are circular anyway.
Right, and most of the kicks are circular, other than their probe.
Right, the
right?
front.
The
Okay.
knees and the legs, right.
And you will notice also, if you watch a Thai fight, they will more than likely, if they want to kick from the front leg, idea in mind, you don't always want to do the quick step. Although, I know lots of times, wow, I feel good, I'm getting a lot of power out of the beginner. I will always show them without quick step, just the shuffle, okay? Then later on, I show them the quick step, and then I let them use both. But I know if I show them the quick step first, it will become a basic, shuffle kick, okay, shuffle and kick. And naturally, they will start doing the quick step. A quick step is this. A step and a kick is actually, the quick step is a half beat. A flattened kick is a whole beat. Motion comes out of it. And I have to immediately break them out of it and say, eliminate that first step and go right just to the shuffle and kick. You know? And then what I do is at the class's third level, I teach them quick step. Okay, and that would be a year, after a year of training, then I show them the quick step. Because it's kind of, I don't want them to get too used to that right away. I'd rather them just get a good shuffle and kick, which is going to be a lot less telegraphic, you know, than the quick step will be. Okay, but and by that time too, within a year, his footwork should be real fast. So then the quick step can definitely
adapt to it.
Yes, they can
very
definitely
quickly.
be used to their advantage. Otherwise, forget it; they'll be gone. Okay, so let's try that again. Kicking again, a full step. Okay, full shuffle kick.
It's really important right now. It's
Right. All I want you to work on is the distance. So don't worry if there's all the elements are fitting together. You don't have to worry about the power. Now, I know a lot of times everyone, okay, recovery. That's the other thing. Okay, here we get into right, that sort of thing. Okay. So try to avoid this. Work on a fast kick and go like at a second level training, in between a second and third level. But I wouldn't. Then you don't have to worry quite how fast that quick step has to be. So I might do that. Yeah, but not just a flat out quick step. And that's kind of scary.
Is it easy to intercept somebody, not kicking, doing quick step?
Yeah, if you know he's doing it.
Yeah, right. So it's need like,
You see the step there. Often that tells you to get your leg up.
so the person has the same kind of reaction reflex.
Yeah, you see it every time.
Right.
So you're just gonna tighten the guy.
So you can cover it up with it.
You mean? Oh yeah, right. To take him out. Yeah. Then you see that first, and then we come in. Yeah. Sure. That's different from a quick step. The quick step would be just out here like this. Yeah. But that it wouldn't be a pure quick step.
It's more like a double beat than a fast beat.
Yes, that would be a quick step followed by shuffle.
Right.
So yeah, that would be different. Yeah. The quick actually will be fast. Okay. We will do.
What time you got to leave, Tony?
My brother wants to
Oh, no problem.
the bottom. Good going on this.
We four brothers, so I think it's more common.
You want to call more footwork in there?
Second?
Did you?
I will emphasize this though. When you punch, you do want to go with these knuckles here, right? Because that will be your power line here. Okay. So, and what I've noticed now too, you know, like karate, they will say you want to concentrate on the first two knuckles, and that is because when they turn their hand this way, when they corkscrew the punch, then this will be your line here. See, that will be your line. That is your line of power here. Okay? And then here. You want to see that. But this will be your line here. Okay? But in this motion, okay, this will be your line here. Okay? So, you know, it just depends how you're hitting if you're hitting the punch. You know, if you're going boom, then yeah, that would be your power line right there. It wouldn't be here. But you don't have your power there. They're going from here. Boom, okay? Boom. So that would be your line of power. But here, since we're hitting vertically, then it would be here. You understand that? You even try, you know, like you try a push-up on your knuckles. On your first two knuckles this way. You don't see the karate people, I've not been in a karate class, but I don't think the karate people do their knuckles. You see that? If they do it this way, then it's easier. If you're doing it this way, you got to do it on your last three knuckles.
Yep.
You got your power. See that? So they, you know, even though we say we punch vertically for all these reasons, do is sound in their own system. It's a well thought out, and there are reasons why they do it that way. Because there's no way you can punch like that. There's no way. You have to come up. You have to go this way, or you have to go this way. Because that kind of locks out the wrist. It locks the wrist to respect. That's the reason why they do it that way. So, okay. Don't relax and just throw. Each punch you have to really throw with as much intensity that you can. That's the only way, lackadaisical and not, just kind of motor, machine. Right. Then you relax again, okay? Then I want you to prepare yourself again for another punch. This hand and this foot is moving at the same time. You still, in the way. So because it's doing that, this foot has to raise higher. You see that? So when you see that, even though the hand and feet, so watch my hand, watch my foot, it's still moving at the same time, right? The starting position. But you really see this foot because he's so out of balance, okay? And he doesn't have his weight forward. If he had his weight forward, he has the rear foot, loaded across, okay? Then it's less noticeable, okay? That's not the forward weight, okay, raise. And now back here, fully balanced. And look, just because of the heel up, or the whole distance, okay? So there's a difference between, here, 50-50, here is 50-50, see that? 50% here, 50% here, but my weight naturally moves forward, just because I raised myself. It is not 50-50, and then I don't even know how to do it. Okay, here. Okay. Number 2, okay, so this is number 1, the right weight beforehand. Okay? And then hand and feet. Number 2 is that the hand does move before the feet does. Okay, after I watch the guys again, even the guys in good balance, I can still see that foot moving beforehand. Okay? So to minimize that, you do have to move your hand before you move your feet. Even if it's that split second before. Boom. And then I'm just going beyond. See? Actually, that is a good analogy. The guy, think like, the guy has a rope tied around your wrist, right? And he's pulling, and this is going to be the first part moving, right? And then the rest of you follow, okay? It's that idea, okay? Hand, and then the feet, okay? Now, the faster you go, the less obvious it's going to be. But when you start seeing that type of punch in full motion, when the feet and hand are actually moving at the same time, it looks like the foot. So you do have to move the hand out first. If you move the hand out first, then you're only making it look like it's equal. Okay? And that's what you want. Because if he sees that foot first, forget it. You pop, 50-50, you're going to score. Okay? If he sees the hand and feet, look like they're moving at the same time. Okay? See that?
A second.
It's real slim though, right? You can hardly see it.
Right.
Why does, okay, when I consciously think my hand and my front foot move at the same time, it looks like my foot is moving first.
The upper body is faster than the lower body.
Okay, that could be part of the case.
Also, there's a lot more weight on the leg than there is on the hand. There's no weight in the hand at
There's a
all.
lot more weight transfer with your legs. Okay. So when I'm here, off your rear foot, this foot kind of lags behind. Okay? Even though you're thinking that, even though you kind of think, move that at the same time. Okay? But you're actually pushing off here, so that weight transfer is just not there. Okay, but you have to go, even though your weight's forward and everything, okay, you still have to move your body to go.
That optical illusion thing.
And that's what it is. Okay? That's why then it probably only looks like I'm going at the same speed. Okay. To that point, they don't see themselves improving. They don't see the punch getting faster. A beginner doesn't concentrate on those things. A beginner will want to see the technique. They want to feel they're doing something new every day, right? You know, like, okay, this time I do paksa, next time I do lapsa. They don't realize front hand punch is getting faster. Like,
But you
forward
know
is
it.
getting better. Yeah, he only realized by his knowledge how much stuff that's
He knows, yeah.
Okay, so that's why for the beginning, the student, I give them a lot of technique. I give them a good, solid foundation that they feel good at. Okay, later stages, they will start appreciating that more. Later stages, then they understand they have to really make their martial art better then. And they have to really make their front hand leap fast. And then they say, oh, I understand now, Before, all I thought about is just technique. I just want technique. But that's why I think, like, okay, Bruce Lee goes through the 3 stages of learning, right? Okay, first stage is a primitive stage, right? The person is just as he is. No prior training, no martial arts training before. The way he fights is just what he is, the person he is, right? Okay, so they call it primitive stage. Okay, second stage is learning or intellectual stage. Intellectual stage, they're learning a new martial art. They're learning, how to kick, all the different types of kicks. They're learning all the different types of punches, how to throw the punch, how to deliver the kick, how to apply the kick, what circumstance, all this, how to train the kick. Okay, all of this stuff. And then what happens is that student is no longer himself. He becomes that style. You understand? He becomes that style. Number 3 then is that, just get back to freedom. Go back to original freedom. So he has to forget him now. The technique, the style kind of become him. But he has to forget about that and go back to what he is. Now he is a more experienced person. Now he's a more experienced martial artist. But he has to express himself now. Just himself will do the action now. For that one person, individual, to do it. But you cannot teach at the 3rd stage. You cannot teach a beginner the 3rd stage. You try to tell a beginner, okay, you just fight the way you fight. That's it. But the guy has no training. The guy has no foundation to fight from. So you have to go through that intellectual stage. You have to satisfy that appetite. You got to satisfy what that student wants. Okay. Then once they get to that point, then the 3rd stage, then you got to tell them you got to go back to yourself. That's when JKD becomes art. At the 3rd stage, we'll get to going back to yourself. And it's just you then. Or they say in the philosophy, okay, they say the 2nd stage, 1st stage is I'm just myself, so I don't know what I'm doing. 2nd stage, I think I'm doing the paksa. Okay, I'm doing the paksa. Okay, 3rd stage is, me and the paksa of how, you learn. So that's why I say you have to have the class outline for the beginner, okay? And maybe for someone who's more experienced, okay, I go through that portion a little quicker, that they have an understanding on the details, okay? But then maybe for someone like that, I approach them in the philosophy portion a little quicker, because that way they can understand it. Okay, like for instance, someone like and this foot is just like a break, no tension here. It's just stopping. Okay, then so like the way the boxing manual show. Okay, if you just lift up the knee, okay, since the tension is here, then you will go forward. Okay, they call that this one's driving forward, like that. Okay, so to real dynamic wise, okay, now that's the basis of the push step. Okay, a push step a little more refined in that I do take the step with the front hand, pulling with the front hand. So that's the movement. Okay, pushing off here. And it has to be dynamic. Again, too many times people will see pushing not for speed, they're pushing for distance. Okay, sometimes people will push for distance. Okay, push too far. You're going to lose it. Okay? So your body limitation only can go so far. Your body can only do so much. Once you try to take a longer step, you're going to change the technique. So we've got to try to keep the technique as pure as possible, and we can max it out as far as the distance as possible, but it's something different. You cannot use this technique. You've got to do something different. Or you can say, I'm gonna fake him out. Go low, okay, oh, I got the push up there, right? You got that chance. You fake him out and get the chance. But I can't say, oh, I go from here all the way to there. You will change your stance. You will change. You will really stretch out too far. You'll be really reaching. Okay? You lost the power. You lost everything. You lost the whole structure of the technique then. So, you start off slow, but only if I can maintain the technique. If I can't maintain the technique, I gotta do something different. Okay, this technique is maxed out for its certain purpose. If I try to, if I gotta get closer to him, okay? If I insist that I have to do this technique, if I insist I have to score front hand leg with him, I cannot do it. Say I'm going to go from here to all the way over there with just front hand lead. No way. You cannot score on that way. You have to maneuver and get in, okay? Once you reach that range, okay, boom, then you go. And then you can score, okay? But not if you try to do something really your body cannot do. You can only cover a certain limit, okay? You have to know the limits of your technique, okay? Okay, this is my foot, let's say, and I'm curling my toes this way. Will help me go forward. Okay, this way. So like that exercise is this way. I roll my toes and then help me, okay, move forward, okay? Just my toes now, okay? So I'm pulling here, I'm pushing here, okay? So that will also, this pulling motion will help me gain some distance. Okay, I'm pulling here, it will help me to get further if I have to. Okay, if I don't pull here,
You're stuck right there.
right, the only thing that will give me distance is this here. Okay, if I push farther here, I can get further. But I push here, I pull here. This will help me go more forward too. Where the opposite move first, okay? So I step to my left, Now, especially in this one, if I use that this way, since I move this first, okay? It will help. Okay? Okay? Do something with it, okay? Okay, either way. Okay, if you step this way, also this gripping motion helps too. Okay, grip here, move here. So I'm gripping and I'm moving. Okay, that helps. Just a little detail. Okay. Okay. Also with the side step, we'll go. Now we'll start working some 2 count. Okay. With a side step is a good way to start off. At 2 count, 1 and then 2. Okay. 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 I don't slam it. Okay. Boom, boom. Or I can do the foot doesn't run. Okay. Boom, boom. See. Boom. The foot doesn't run. Boom.
That's a head beat.
Yeah, like just a tap in between, just to get boom, and like a touch off. Okay. Touch, boom. But I'm not pushing off, I'm just touching. So I'm pushing here. Okay. Okay, or no touch. Okay. So this is to go so you can go, forward and sideways quickly. Boom, boom. Okay. And okay. Or with the touch. Boom. Okay. Or back and forth. Back touch. Okay. Or with the touch. Okay. So that will help the 2 count.
Good.
So they will show this, okay? But usually they will do it this way. They will go, kind of move and think of, and see that? Okay, it's not moving forward, hardly at all. I'm just like planting my heel here. Okay, you're thinking of the speed here now. When my knee is up, that's telling me I'm going to be, I'm getting kicked. Okay, cool. Okay, then I might go halfway. Half of the distance. With the same. Okay. Then, when you do the full shuffle, then I want you to have the same idea. Okay. Now, okay. That way you can visualize in your mind the rhythm you want. Okay. The low range. Okay, I want to hit his midsection. Okay. Basically, I think everybody here knows how to throw a front hand lead to the head licks, right? Okay. And now we're going to go to the low range. Okay. So when you're doing it, you're going to push off the same way like a push shot. Okay. Except when you end off, your knees are going to be a little more bent because you're going to the lower range. So just the feet here like this. Okay. And I usually, just for myself, my feet are a little wider than what they were before. And my rear foot, instead of, here like this, I'm bending off here like this. Okay? Because also, you got to bend your upper body down, okay, like this, and shoot that shoulder through here.
Give you more stability, center of gravity to the ground.
Right, okay, so I'm here. Boom, okay. Okay, so that's really what this is for here. So, also, when you go in, you have to go down real fast. You have to get down really fast, okay? So, you have to think of like, you're going to tense your stomach, this motion, this way. Jerking down, and my legs are coming up. That's the visualization. Okay, I don't want you to think of, like this, okay? It's mostly to jerk your head, your upper body down. Okay? Okay. So that happens. This one, I usually go in a vertical kick, or at a 45, but I wouldn't go in a vertical. I won't go in a vertical, I'll go horizontal kick. Yeah. So I don't feel, I can't get my shoulder up high enough to block. Yes, sir. If I turn a little bit, I can cut my chin a little bit more. Yeah. It's just like that. Okay. Again, the chin comes down. Okay. So, and then my back is a little hunch. You see that? Okay. And you can get a lot of power out of it. You can get a lot of good boom, and you really cannot do that. Okay? So with that in mind, it's best for the pull-up though right now. Okay? See that?
Does your back foot turn this way for more power?
For me to be in balance when I'm like this. Okay? That way. And then it does help for this. If I need to push through, I can do it without. It helps me to push through this way. From here, okay, that helps me out. But mostly it's for the balance. Especially like if I demonstrate in slow motion, I have to do it that way. Because it feels better. But I don't want you to think of, just because I have my feet this way, that means I'm over here. Okay, look at my upper body.
You're leaning a little
Yeah,
bit.
like this, see? It's not,
It's not the full momentum.
here. Okay, boom. That's the forward momentum. The upper body is going into the pelvis. Okay, instead of squatting, hip, more. Okay, inside here. Okay. So let's try that. Okay, just without hitting right now, and then we'll go into the hip. Sometimes you try to lunge. You see that foot coming? Sure. There comes the foot, and then comes the hand. Okay, so again, just the same way as the front hand lead, regular front hand lead. And I moved out earlier. Okay. So same thing here. When you get the hand out, okay, get it in forward. Okay. So don't, in other words, you shouldn't see me. Okay. So okay. So let's work on that now. So concentrate and defend yourself. Okay. Now you say, I know my side kick, my side stop kick will work for me 95% of the time. Let's say. Okay. My trap, I don't know so much about it, okay? And I can't be for sure. Chopping is really dependent upon your opponent. How he does something to you that you can trap him. Okay, trapping is bent on a lot on sensitivity. What kind of energy is moving at? Going this way, going this way, going this way. How is he moving? Okay, so it's too dependent on your opponent. Side stop kick, it don't matter. Okay, most of the time you do a stop kick on his knee, it'll cause some problems, okay? Regardless. Okay, so you look at it that way, and then you think about if you're going to defend yourself now. Okay, are you going to are you going to use techniques that 95% of the time? Or are you going to use the techniques that work 60% of the time? You want to use the technique most effective. In almost any situation, the stop kick will be very good. I have to make my system then. I only have 2 hours a day to train. What am I going to practice most? I want to practice on something I'm going to use the most. Side kick, front hand lead, boxing combinations, okay. The most effective that is going to cause the most amount of damage in the shortest amount of time in the most efficient way. You want to practice those the most. You only have 2 hours a day. Oh yeah, I'm going to train everything I don't do. Everything I'm not going to do. I mean, that doesn't make sense, okay? Like, okay, you have an Italian restaurant, right? Okay, now you say, everybody comes to my restaurant for spaghetti, but I like the veal better. So I'm going to work on the veal making good. Yeah, you can work on in your spare time. But the one you work on the most, this is my idea. You got to prioritize your system, prioritize the technique the most important to you, and work on those the most, okay? And then you say, okay, well, I got 15 minutes left. Okay, well then I'll spend some extra time on those. Always have those ones ready for you. Okay, those, even though, okay, no matter how, no matter how many times you're going to use it. In other words, they say, okay, I might only use this technique one time in my life, okay? Because it serves a certain purpose. If I do it just once, there's only one instance when I use this technique, okay? So they say, oh, and the time may never come up, you see. So you want to work on the ones that are going to, okay? Even it can be, you're going to throw the hand a little bit before it. You can even think it that way, but not too much and then go.
You want to grab you want to push the elbow or the forearm.
Okay, depending on how close you get to the guy, that will be one thing. Okay, if I'm just here that I just want to move the hand, boom, it might be here. If I want a full power trap, in other words, I want to completely collapse the arm in, I'm going to be there and trap, okay? But if all I want to do is to just move his arm, like, okay, give me some resistance. All I want to do is just, no, I don't want to fight with that, and I don't think I can crash him because he's too big for me, okay? Then I'm just enough to move it out of the way.
You're giving him a back fist.
No, I give him a straight hand lead. I give boom, I give, and then I pull it in straight. Okay, yeah, that's another thing I saw. When I see something, I see boom, and I'm ready for another. I could go again. Okay, so I
Come in for the trap. Should you come with your footwork in here so you get it so you can like...
Right.
So
Yeah, you can crash it, you can crash the line, right there, and also just to protect yourself. Okay, the other way is you go to the outside. So I'm angling off right here, from here, boom, here. Okay, so that would be another way you can do it. The way here. So that would be one way, and that's the effective way, because you really clean him off down this way. Especially on a big guy, you got to use the weight thing. He's blocking, I got some pressure there, and I just want to punch him, okay? So I'm just pulling to open up the line, boom, okay? And then I got more of a speed lock style instead of a power lock style. In a power lock style, boom, you pull him in. The other way, you just open up the line, boom, okay? And then you got it. Okay, so
Always keep the hand in check.
right.
When you grab it,
Yeah, even after, boom, I got it here, okay? Because I might do something else, okay? Get my back, get his legs.
Yeah, that one. All you gotta do is lift it up and then press and press.
Here. Excuse me, one second.
Okay, a lot of times when you do the pop style, he'll parry with your hand, okay? Now, depending on how he parries, you have to counter a different way, okay? Parry like that, then you just grab from here, boom, and then you got a back fist, okay? So from here, boom, okay, and then go ahead, parry, boom, okay, boom, okay, here. So right there, I'm just going to work right here from here, very short punch, just here, and then just, okay. and then just two, open the line again, okay? And one, boom, okay, here. Now, in a more, sitting, okay, they'll just block right here. They'll back up a little, okay, right here. You see that? I didn't cross my face. Okay, like this way. Okay, boom, like, you know, when you that's when I overdid it, okay? A more experienced person will do like this way. Boom. Just to block this enough, and they back up. Yeah, a little bit, okay? Then I'm going to shoot right here. Boom, here, okay? And get them off balance, okay? Boom, boom. I got to get the feeling here. Okay? Boom, boom. I try to lock him this way, okay? Because I want to know if he's going to do something there. Boom, okay, if he moves, then I can feel it. I have to do something else. Okay, here. Okay, I have to do something. Because if I just go from here, okay, and lock out. And I go here, then I don't know what, I can't see anything. I mean, I can only see it, I cannot feel it. Okay, so if he moves, I have less chance I can react. This way, I have a chance I can react better. I can feel. Okay. So two of them, okay? This one will be called the cocktail, okay, or double cocktail they call it. Okay, means you stack them twice with your hand, okay? The double cocktail, okay? If he blocks, over blocks, okay, boom, okay, lock shot, cocktail to lock shot. Usually a gum foul is more, you know, like they're just a sensor, but I'm really concentrating here.
Right. You just kind of
to open up that line.
to avoid a grip of sensitivity
Right.
and avoiding to
Yeah,
engage.
right. Okay, can you try both? And about this one, okay? I'm turning my body to get the torque from my back grip. Okay, you watch this. I'm not just doing this. Okay, I'm moving. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay. And then also I kind of angle myself off. I'm pulling. Yeah. Okay, so boom, pull and punch. Boom. Boom with my weight. Boom. Yeah. Okay. And then the other one, okay? This one here, okay? Pops out or pops out. You went two, okay? See, my feet go forward both times, okay? Because I don't want you to lean this way, you see? That's the idea of that one. You really crash on that one, okay? The other one is more of a finesse here, okay? This one I crash through here, okay? So let's work on those. This one I'm grabbing here. I'm not grabbing here. Okay, I don't have any leverage there. Okay, I'm grabbing here. Okay, boom. Okay, I'm grabbing to the outside. Yeah, like a lock off on the opposite side. Okay, you see that's one. Okay, so boom. Okay, okay, and then boom. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, okay, boom. So I'm grabbing there. Now the one when he blocks at his face. Okay. And I'm shooting inside his arm. Okay, boom, here. And when I'm doing that one for boom, okay, boom, here. Okay. So make sure you got those two. They're two different ones, okay? Now also your body going towards him, but he might move this way a little bit. Okay, so
Because of the elbow being
right, because I'm going and he's moving that way. Okay, so you're using both. You're going to move them in two different ways now. Okay. Okay, let's try it again for a few more minutes and then we'll go. Hit. Trap, hit, okay. So try not, you gotta start combining it, okay. This is one, this is two. Okay, don't think of, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, take out the extra count, just 2 counts now, 1, 2, okay. 1, 2, okay. Now another thing about, okay, so this is about speeding it up, okay. 1, 2, okay. 1, 2, okay. Another point is you gotta make sure your trap is good, okay. Lots of times, like, okay, you do this. Either one you do to me. Now, if he leaves me some opening, okay, a Wing Chun guy will do this. Okay, so that is somewhat of a counter for me, just a very quick, you know, that I might be able to prevent him from punching me, okay? Same way with the pop style. If he tries a pop style, I can do the stiff arm just the same, okay? So lots of times what I'll do, if a guy does a stiff arm, but here, boom, here, inside. So I'm doing a pop style again, okay? Boom, inside. Okay, quicker inside motion for the low line. Okay. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay, here. But stiff. Okay. Now I'm not collapsing this one. I'm just monitoring so I can punch. Boom, and then just again here so I can line opens.
In other words, if he's opening, if he's closing,
If he collapses,
you're opening for the, you're punching for the high line, and he brings it up to
he's
the high
locked
line.
up, okay? Then I go down, boom, okay? So that's where I'm going here. Boom, boom. This is the instance when you do the pop style. Okay, for instance, you do, okay? See, then I'll go here, okay? Or I could go, go here, and then I just go here. I don't even grab, I just go here, okay? Boom, there's the opening right here. Boom, okay? So that's what I'm looking for. The different counters, depending how he reacts, okay? So this one's pops out high, and then goes to low, okay? Let's do that one. So from there, you want to go for the lockout. Boom. So we're doing the opposite. See, before we did the lockout, he stiff on, and I kind of cracked me here, you see, and I cannot get through. Then I do the lock. Boom. Right there. Okay? So now it's just the opposite. Pops out, lockout there. Okay? Now, when you do this, you want to make sure, because if you score the first time so fast, no matter how stiff you get, and I still get it in, then I don't have to fly it the first time, though. You really try, okay, now, okay. You really try to hit him, okay? When he does a stiff arm, then you go to the counter. But the first time, you make the first time, the first time you really try to score, okay? And then, but since he did the counter, you really have to, don't set him up in a trap. Don't try to set up a guy in a trap, okay? You're too close. You don't have enough time. If you do the wrong thing, you're going to pay for it. Okay, so don't try to set him up. Like Jericho Keith said, the only reason why you're going to trap is because you want to hit the guy. Okay, so if he doesn't have the barrier, okay, you put your hand. If you don't have the barrier, then I'm just going to hit him. Okay, the only reason I'm going to trap, the barrier is there. I got to open up the line so I can hit him. Okay, so it's the same idea. Don't try not to set him up. Okay, it is a strategy. You can do it, but you have to be really good to do it. Okay. You have to have really good sensitivity. So right now, every time you're going to trap, you try to score, okay? And then he counters, and you change up then, okay? So that's the strategy right now. So it's try to take pop out to lock out. Okay. Now, in Wing Chun, for instance, one of the theories behind it is the elbow is always in, right? You've seen that, they always say that's a rule, right? The elbow is always in, okay? You can go with the belly, right? So they make Chinese food there. So, at least a certain couple of days a week, we have to taste the food and make sure it tastes okay. Especially if something changes, right? Then the customer knows it, then they don't want it anymore, you see? So you have to make sure it's consistent and it's good what they expect on it.
How important would you say is conditioning, and as far as the cardiovascular?
Yeah.
I mean, how much of a percentage of the art
Is based on that?
To be able to,
Yeah, I have to say, that's one thing that's probably the most lacking in terms of emphasis. Yeah, conditioning is a really, really important fact that you. And I would say, Bruce Lee definitely conditioning is one of the most important things. The techniques, though, themselves don't depend on conditioning. The repetition of techniques depend on it. Okay, right.
That's perfect.
What's that?
Right down the concept, that conditioning is the least most important upon
Right.
all the
of all the qualities, right?
all the qualities.
That everyone
Work
has.
too much on technique.
Right. But it's just, okay. But it's, you got to have it, though. Yeah, continue to do them, okay? But you don't want to get caught, tired, okay? But the techniques are designed to be efficient. So, but they're really dependent on explosiveness, right? With boom, that much energy, at any time. So it's really all physical training and everything. Yeah, conditioning you got to do it. In fact, conditioning is probably more important than the strength training and everything. Yeah, especially like, okay, you want to do free sparring, you got to have it then. Oh yeah.